Yeah, okay. No, both of them. Oh, Jesus. Right, okay, well, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens when we get there. But yeah. Right, I'll see you tomorrow, and either way, I'm still looking forward to it. Alright, see you then. Bye, 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 bye. So I'm going to Svalbard tomorrow, and we've had a bit of a hiccup. You see, we were supposed to hire snowmobiles and go and shoot a glacier, but unfortunately they've closed the glacier because of polar bears. Not only have they closed the glacier, they've also cancelled our snowmobiles due to excessive ice melt. Yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen when we get there. But I'm still going. Why not? My time on Svalbard is short, very short, and having all major plans cancelled at the last minute left me feeling unsure of what to pack for this trip. Flying up to the Arctic Circle, I was feeling anxious. I would be landing in a place I'd never been before, with no form of transportation, no plans of what to photograph, and no idea of how I would make the most of my time on this icy tundra.
Hey Thomas.
I met my friend Morten. He's a wildlife photographer, and luckily he has some contacts up here, which would make the next 48 hours much more enjoyable. Oh, and before I forget, this video is sponsored by Squarespace, so if you need a website, go to squarespace.com/Heaton.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Tom, never seen you looking so cool. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So at the moment, this is just a recce. It's still early. We're kind of hoping that the weather's going to clear and we'll get some nice light later on. So we just came for a walk to see if we could check out this glacier. But behind me, here, there is supposed to be a glacier, but it's complete whiteout. I can't see anything. And the weather's closing in, it's snowing, and it's all coming from that way off the glacier. But what we did see on this walk is a herd of reindeer. And we're very, very close to the reindeer. We think if we take our time, move slowly towards them, we might be able to get close to the reindeer and get a shot. How close can I get to these reindeer? Check this out. So I'm quite close to the reindeer now, but I'm finding it very difficult to isolate a single deer because obviously they're in a herd. So I'm not getting the best composition, but still, what an experience. Yeah, this is gorgeous, and the snow's really starting to come down now, so I'm not sure if we're going to stay out here much longer. But yeah, what an amazing start to a very short but hopefully enjoyable trip. I said my friend Morten had some contacts. Well, they got us a car. But the thing with Svalbard is there aren't any roads. In this town, Longyearbyen, the capital, there are about 3 short roads that lead nowhere and for not very long. Okay, so that was fun with the reindeer, and I've had a look through my camera, which I have here, and yeah, a couple of images that look like they have potential. We're now driving into a valley, which is actually on the coast. You can see just there to the side of the car. And in this valley we're hoping, fingers crossed, to see Arctic foxes, but actually the truth is I am totally distracted by the light and the landscape on the other side of the ocean, because I'm just seeing like snippets of mountains far away, but with the way that the clouds are, it's creating these layers and these layers of light and different shades and textures, and then just with the hint of a mountain, very minimalist, very fine art. And I actually have the perfect lens. This is the 100 to 400 lens, so I reckon with a 400mm I can just get this shot. And I don't know, it's catching my eye. Do you mind if I can I get the shot? I should really take the photograph. Right, windows going down. Focus.
This is how we do it in the professional industry. Right, so I can just see the mountain coming through. I've got image stabilization on, 400mm, ISO 320 at f6.3, which gives me a shutter speed of about 640th of a second, so well fast enough with the image stabilization. I'm waffling on, I'm just going to get the shot, it might not even work. Right, there we go. Yeah, simple, minimalist, opportunistic, but I don't know, there was something about the light and the way that you could just about see the mountain that really did it for me, so yeah. Anyway, onwards and upwards.
Unfortunately, the valley we were heading for was cut off by snow, there were no Arctic foxes, and the weather had turned into a very miserable, grey, wet day.
Oh, so I'm not, haven't used the tripod. Haven't even had the tripod out of my bag yet. Oh my, look at my hair. That is ridiculous. Alright. So, the way that this is kind of working at the minute is a little bit gun and run, kind of driving around with a long lens because there is no foreground interest here at all. It's just sort of muddy, sludgy, grey. It's uninspiring, it's horrible, but if you break out the long lens and shoot the mountains across the fjord and across the sea, then you actually pick out some really amazing landscapes. Now this weather's horrible, but with horrible but with horrible weather comes great images, is what I was trying to say. Not horrible women, that's not what I was saying at all. With horrible weather comes great dramatic images, and as this mountain across the fjord is kind of being battered by clouds rolling in off the sea, all of that rain that was out to sea before is now smothering the cloud, and I'm just grabbing a shot with this long lens. The image stabilization is so good that I really don't need a tripod, so I'm just resting on my arm and I'm shooting this at, again, ISO 320, f6.3. I don't need to worry about depth of field because I have no foreground interest. I just want to grab this shot of the mountain. It's quite fine arty, it's quite abstract, but that's what I love about the long lens, is just picking out these shapes and these abstract images in the landscape, and it has such reach on it. You know, I'm at 400mm more or less. And without that I would never get this image, and I don't know, I think it's quite nice. I am definitely trying to make the best of a bad situation here, and let's not beat around the bush. This is a pretty bad situation. Anyway, I'll stop complaining and I'll grab this photograph. That's it. Job done.
This is the valley that we were originally going to snowmobile through. This would lead us to our accommodation for the trip, a small, remote, off-grid cabin. Due to all of this water, the route through the valley is not possible, so we must strap on some snowshoes and make a long hike over a glacier, approaching our cabin from a high plateau, which should be much drier and more accessible than the flooded valley floor.
So we now have to cross this glacier. It's really small. You know, we're just at the very tongue of the glacier, the very end of it. It's completely covered in snow. I'm sure it's fine, but I don't definitely know it's going to be fine. It's completely white, can't see a single thing, can't even see if this is a hill in front of me. I know it is because I can feel gravity pulling me, but you can't see it. So we're just making a few quick checks, and then we cross the glacier, up the other side, across the plateau. Bosh, down in the valley to the cabin. So this glacier, the part that we're on is really small. It's probably no more than 100 meters across, but it's really terrifying. I've got this horrible phobia that we're walking across snow bridges and that we could collapse and fall into a crevasse at any time. Now that is probably irrational and almost certainly isn't going to happen, but the fear is still there, so I am treading very lightly, very slowly, and I promise you I am very, very nervous.
Oh, what a view. Yeah.
So we've crossed the glacier and onto the plateau, and we stopped and had a drink and food, and it was lovely. I'm really, really tired now. I've been on the go for well more than 24 hours, and we have about a 2-kilometer hike down the valley, or down this hill to the valley floor. It's going to be a long slog because I'm really tired, but Morten has had the rather foolish, I think, foolish idea of using the pulk as a sled and just going straight down this very steep, very icy hill. And I said he shouldn't do it because there's no brakes, and this hill keeps on going. So, for your viewing pleasure, I bring you Morten and the pulk.
Holy, holy, holy. Woohoo! Yes! Yes! Ah! Woo!
Oh, so he's still going. Oh man, that looks fun, and now I have to walk all the way down by myself in these big, cumbersome snowshoes.
After Morten's success, I couldn't resist having a go, and what a welcome ride it was. The pulk carried me almost 1 kilometre to the cabin, which would be our refuge after more than 24 hours of travel and uncertainty. I only had another 18 hours left on Svalbard, and I still had hope for more photography, but first it was time to rest. And before I go into the cabin and sleep, I would like to thank Squarespace for their continued support of this channel. If you don't know who Squarespace are, they're a website where you log on and you build your website. So if you do need a website, go to squarespace.com/Heaton and try a free trial. And if you like free trial and you want to spend some money with them, use the offer code Heaton for 10% off your first purchase. Right, I'm now going into this cabin and going to have the best sleep I've had in a long time.